Welcome. In this video, let us see the derivation of formulas related to the topic projectile motion up on an inclined plane. Okay, before getting into the derivation, one should be familiarized with these three equations which are related to the topic rectilinear motion. One of our video describes the derivation of these formulas. Anyhow, you should be familiarized with these three equations. That's more than enough. With that assurance, let us move into the derivation part. Just consider a horizontal plane like this and an inclined plane like this, and the inclined plane having an angle of beta with respect to a horizontal like this. Just imagine a ball or projectile or a particle is thrown from this place with an initial velocity of u, and that projectile is having an angle of alpha with respect to the horizontal plane like this. As the particle moves, it creates a trajectory, that is, its path is like this, and that path will have an angle of alpha minus beta, because the angle of projectile with respect to horizontal is alpha and the inclined plane is having an angle of beta. This will have the angle alpha minus beta. Now, usually we used to choose a coordinate system like this, but our problem involves or concentrates on this inclined plane. So, in order to cope up with that, let us choose a coordinate system like this. That is, the x coordinate system is parallel to the inclined plane and the y coordinate system is perpendicular to this inclined plane. So, in that concern, we are ignoring this coordinate system and we are moving with this. So the first part is the time taken by the projectile. That is the time taken by the projectile to travel from this place to this place. So I am utilizing the third formula which has the distance and time parameters. First, I am substituting 0 instead of s. This equation is wholly considered the vertical part of the motion. Hence, there is no vertical distance between the particle and the inclined plane in this position. Hence, I am substituting 0 here instead of s. The next point is we have to substitute the u here. But the velocity given here is in this direction, but it has to be resolved with respect to this coordinate system. So the horizontal coordinate system of the u, that is the horizontal component of the initial velocity u will be here, and the vertical component of the velocity u will be here. And the horizontal component can be written like this, u cos alpha minus beta. Why I am utilizing cos means cos represents the adjacent side to the hypotenuse side. Since this side is adjacent to the angle alpha minus beta, I am using this cos. And similarly, we can use sine, since this side is opposite to alpha minus beta, and sine represents the opposite side to the hypotenuse side. Okay, with that concern, I am taking the u sine alpha minus beta here. As I have mentioned already, the particle movement is in vertical direction, hence I am taking the vertical component of this initial velocity into consideration. Next, the time t. I am substituting the capital T here. The capital T means the time taken by the projectile to travel from this position to this position. Plus half. The next point is we have to substitute the proper parameter of A. Here A means acceleration, but as the particle is moving in the vertical direction, we have to represent the acceleration due to gravity in the place of acceleration. Usually the acceleration due to gravity will be in the vertically downward direction, but it has to be resolved with respect to our coordinate system. So we can resolve like this, that is vertical and horizontal like this. But in order to resolve that, we need to know this angle, but we don't know this angle till now. So only if we know this angle, we can resolve it into cos and sine. For that purpose, let us do a little work of creating a triangle, right angle triangle like this. Why we need to create a right angle triangle means there is an advantage in that. If we know a right angle triangle like this means two sides of a right angle triangle will have an angle of 90 degree in between them. So if we know one angle means, it is easier for us to find the other angle. Suppose we are having a 90 degree here and 10 degree here means, by subtracting 10 degree from 90 degree, we will get the answer here. That is 90 minus 10, 80 degree. We have 80 degree here. Okay. By shifting this scenario to this right angle triangle, we can find this angle. That is, this angle will be equal to 90 degree minus beta. So now projecting this right angle triangle so as to get the acceleration due to gravity. So I am extending this line to this point so that we will get the proper acceleration components from this point. So we already know that gravity will be acting vertically downwards like this. Now we have created another one right angle triangle like this. So previously we have seen we need to know this angle. So since this is a right angle triangle, this we know, which is 90 degree. From previous right angle triangle, we know this angle is equal to 90 minus beta. So by subtracting 90 minus beta from this 90 degree, we get this angle. Okay. That is like this. By getting the negative sign into the bracket, we get like this. Finally, cancelling the positive and negative signs of 90 degree, we get the angle is beta. Okay, finally we got the angle here. So now it is easier for us to resolve. Okay, so here cos beta, since this side is adjacent to the angle beta and this side is opposite to the angle beta, hence I am utilizing sin beta. Now I am utilizing the cos beta here, that is I am taking the vertical component because our particle's movement is represented with respect to the vertical direction. And I am introducing the negative sign B here because the positive aspect of the vertical coordinate system is towards this side. Anything acting against this side has to be taken with respect to the negative sign, and the g cos beta is towards this side, which is opposite to this direction. Hence I am taking the negative sign here and next t square. So after simplifying with few steps, we get the time taken by the projectile. Let's move this formula here so that it can be easily referred in future derivation part. Next, the range, how far the particle has moved or can be moved. So in this system, this is concerned, that is the particle movement is concerned with respect to the horizontal. Hence, we are moving to this coordinate system and ignoring the coordinate system which we utilized in previous derivation part. Okay, now considering triangle ABC. Now since we are moving into this consideration part, utilizing this beta, that is AC represents the adjacent side to this angle. So we can use the cos. Adjacent side here is AC and its hypotenuse side is range R, and the range is represented with R here. So what we need is R, which is R. So taking R to the one side and cos beta to the another side, we get like this. And now we need to know what is AC. In order to know the AC, we have to have a simple logical steps. So distance can be represented like this. By multiplying velocity with time, we get distance logically. Then left hand side distance means it gives meter, and velocity means the meters per second and time here. So S and S will get cancelled and we have the formula like this. Of course, our distance is concerned with this AC, which is what we needed here. And here the velocity is movement of this one, but our concern is towards the horizontal one. So we need to resolve so that we can take the horizontal component of this velocity. So we will have the horizontal component like this and vertical component like this. And next step we will have the horizontal component with respect to cos alpha, since this is in the side of adjacent to this alpha, and here sine, which is opposite to this. But anyhow, we are concerned with the horizontal, so we are taking the horizontal component. and of course time t. That is that even though we are concerned about AC, the time taken by the particle to reach this position will be capital T. So I am taking the same t here. Since we have derived the t previously, I am utilizing that t here. So with fewer steps we found AC, and substituting that AC here, we derive the formula for a range. Okay, with this we have calculated two different formulas which can be utilized for the problems. So with this I am concluding this video. Okay, thank you.